Good evening, everyone. Calling to order today's Borough of Conshohocken Authority meeting for October. Shannon, did we receive any public comment ahead of the meeting that we would want to discuss?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's start by pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Shen, you want to do a roll call first?
Aparna Chibber.
Here.
Christine Bertino.
Here.
Jack Ambler.
Here.
George Bass.
Here.
Tina Sokolowski.
Here. Do we have any need for an executive session pre or post meetings this evening? Okay. All right. Moving right into the approval of our minutes from our September 23rd, 2025 meeting. If you had a chance to review, did you have any comments, feedback, or changes? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes from September 23rd, 2025.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So first item on our agenda this evening under reports is our financial report. And then we've got a couple other topics underneath that, which would be our mitigation plan for our billing error and our rebate from our premium. So any questions related to the financial report for September? Shannon, I see that we paid Foster Digital Media the $500 for live stream. Are we live streaming every meeting as we move forward? And do we get data analytics on live streaming on if anyone actually looked at it, or let me just check into that and see if that's a possibility. Because, okay.
Because it goes to YouTube afterwards, right? And then you can only see like views there, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're right, the live one would be nice too.
Okay. All right. I think that was all I had from an expenses perspective. Anyone else have any expenses questions? Hearing no expenses, I would be looking for a motion to approve our expenses for the month of September at $116,320.15
That's for October.
for
October's bills.
Sorry. Yep. Thank you.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Payment of the bills of the 24th work of October.
Sorry, I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I am obviously a month behind,
Roll call.
and we're spending money, so we're now doing a roll call vote.
Aparna Chibber.
Yes.
George Bass.
Yes.
Jack Ambler.
Yes.
Christine Bertino.
Yes.
Tina Sokolowski.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. And just for the record, I wanted to just call out that from an actual to budget, we're running at about 73%, 74%, so we're right on target. So good job to the staff for keeping us on budget target. All right, do we want to talk a little bit about our September billing error and how we like to look at mitigating it? What it was, let's just kind of go over it.
Okay, so when the bills for September were done, it appears that when the file was transferred over, the right amount of columns was not deleted. So when it was imported, it read from one column, and that wasn't the final usage. So the bills were a little lower by like $126,000 for the quarter. We do have a report that we are creating in order to add that adjustment to the December bills. Not sure if we want to do any other kind of mitigation, waiving penalties or that kind of stuff.
Did-
Payment plans.
Did we have an average amount that it would impact someone's following bill? That we could put maybe a threshold number or something?
I can look at it, but I didn't get the report yet, so I'm
Okay.
still waiting. But I can do that and see what the,
And how much was it for?
it was total 126,000, about from what I'm gathering. Like I said, I didn't get the file yet, but I'm thinking it's like $126,000 short.
And then that money doesn't come in until January.
That won't come in until January, yes.
So how does that impact any budget?
We're currently okay in the cash account, so it shouldn't be an issue, hopefully.
But we have to count that money then as part of 2026, not 2025?
We
Well-
could, if you talk to the accountant, we should be able to do some type of accrual accounting
yes,
to be
yeah.
able to bring it back
To bring it
into
back
the right
in,
year.
which they normally do anyway for the December billing, because, so I'll make sure that it's actually in December,
Oh,
that amount.
In our cash account, we have no issue in our cash.
Right,
account.
we're
at
good on the,
3.5 million.
yeah.
Do we know how much off that is per family?
That I don't know yet. That's what
that's what we're
we're
trying to
working on the
The
file.
reason I ask is there a way to, can the system be set up to give you some sort of alert when you're more than some percentage off of normal? Like, can it tell you, like, this is
So,
20% lower
so
than
when
normal?
when I look at the bills, after Linda is done, I'm looking for high bills, not low bills. I can ask Dallas Data if there's something in there to pull low bills, but I don't know how accurate that's
Or even if it
gonna.
would
Just a flag.
set a flag of some
Yeah.
sort, like it's 20% below the normal threshold, which then could help you trigger a visual check.
System should be able to tell you, this should be something automatic.
Yeah.
What's our
AI.
typical billing?
Solve all our-
Typical billings, we're low of $126,000 total.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What is it typically?
Like one person's bill?
No.
In
Oh.
total.
What's the
Monthly.
$126,000 relative to?
Oh, I think we're about $1 million a
So
quarter.
About $1 million, so that's 12.5%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's at 12%.
Right down, so
Yeah,
I would say it's normally within a certain variation, right? So I think this is what Tina was getting at.
Yes.
If it comes outside of, you know,
outside of that percentage, it should alert us.
24-month
Yeah.
moving average, something or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
and is a notice going out?
I put a customer alert on the website, but I didn't put anything else out there.
So that's kind of what I wanted us to talk a little bit about because of the timing of when this is falling, right? So it's falling holidays, it's falling when people are now going to get hit with a lot of what's happening in the government. So do we automatically want to say we would waive fees if people are delayed? Or do we want to give a grace period to catch up in, so that's something that we kind of have
I
to,
mean, knowing the fact that we have 3.5, and we're stabilized there, maybe
Right.
we want to do it over two quarters. You know, you can do it two
Catch up
quarters.
over 2 quarters?
Yeah, do it, or, you know.
A make
not-
up.
Financial-wise, we're in good shape,
right.
and just do it over 2 quarters.
I think that sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
So other than it being on the website, people don't know yet.
We've not had one call.
We had one call, one
So
call.
why is my bill so low?
yeah, you won't get a
Why was
call
my
of
bill
why
so
my
low?
bill's so
That's
low. You're
right.
gonna get the
He
call.
did.
Why
That's a
did it
good
go
Samaritan.
up higher
He called
again?
and said, my bill is too low. Yes, he did. Yes.
How many hits has the website
Does it make any sense
had?
to rebill now?
I didn't think a lot of people check that
What was that?
website.
To send out September to can you do September's redo?
Well, we could have done that, but we decided not to do that because we didn't want to confuse people with getting two bills.
Right.
Plus, you're gonna pay for all the postage.
Right, and all the postage and everything, so that's why we decided to do it in December.
Makes
And
sense.
it'll just be an extra supplement on the
Yeah.
line item on the,
Here's what we forgot to bill you last month.
right. Right.
So we'll give 2 quarters to catch up. Is that what it is? Or two
Okay.
billing
So we won't apply penalties for 2 quarters.
until March, right?
Okay. So no penalties.
Go ahead. What-
Just my 2 cents. I think if you're spreading it out over 2 months, you should hold the line on penalties and late fees. Otherwise, you're just gonna give everyone an excuse not to pay their bill.
Well, then there's
And I wonder
that.
if that just becomes an accounting,
Right, a
nightmare
nightmare.
for us. So, because it can't, I'm not saying, I agree with what Tina said about people getting hit at the end of the year, but if you spread it out over 2 months, what is it? It can't be that much.
Yeah, I'm thinking
it's
it's
not
probably
too
gonna
much.
be.
It's not too much, yes.
$40
It would be
range.
six-
Spreading it out over 6
Right.
months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're giving them the 6
Two
months to
days,
pay it.
right.
So keep the penalty, just give them the grace of the,
Okay.
Say nothing about penalty or anything, just
So,
keep it as per stated policy.
Okay.
and then from an internal process improvement, so that this doesn't occur again, because it sounds like it was a manual error.
It was a manual error and a step missed. She completely forgot to check the reads after they were imported.
So is that something that we've counseled on and are now
Yes.
processing?
And I'm going to sit with her the next billing and make sure that it is in there properly.
It's never happened before, or has it ever happened before?
No, has not happened before.
Is it something, I hate to add, is there something you should have like a last second eyes on before, or is it
So-
this kind of step is?
So, like I said, I do check the bills at the end. If I'm checking every step, then I might as well just be doing the step.
That's why I
So-
think what Aparna's
the system
solution
should
is,
alert you.
if
You
the
shouldn't have to
system
check.
can alert that your
So I'll
your
ask-
total, you don't even need each bill kind of alerted or flagged, just if your total is under by X percentage, flag it so that then we could figure out what that is.
Probably,
I'll have a meeting with Dallas Data and see if there's something they can,
probably graph like how much it changes, because it probably will be slightly seasonal or whatever, but just
Right.
figure out what a normal,
Variance.
yeah.
Control.
I thought I was
deviation
just
or
being
whatever.
really good with watching my water.
Okay. Do you need anything else from us?
no, so we're just gonna give them the 6 months to pay it. We're still gonna apply the penalties. If they ask for a penalty to be waived, do we waive it? On a case-by-case basis, or do we just,
What do we, I guess the penalty's like, if they decide to not pay their September bill in the next 2 quarters, then we're giving them a penalty? Like, do we give them, they can pay it in those 2 quarters? Like they have to pay their regular bill and then,
The difference split over, you're just gonna add the difference.
yeah, I'm just gonna add the difference, yeah.
It'll be January, so they'll pay September's bill.
Yeah, September's are already, yeah.
yeah.
It's already
So-
coming in.
You know
So
it should be
you'll
very-
add X dollars to the next bill,
To the next bill.
and then X dollars to the
So
subsequent
you want me to
bill.
do 2?
I don't know, just,
I was
Yeah.
gonna do it in 1. I was gonna do it in 1,
but give them enough
to
time to
give them
pay.
enough time.
Yeah, that's good.
To pay.
I like that.
And then that way,
Are they getting, so does that apply to their normal January bill, the extra time?
I'm
Because that's how I
confused.
would, yeah, I'm confused. So let's say the bills go in January.
So I don't do my bills, so I don't really know how they work, so
I don't either.
if you all can help me.
I do my bills.
so the bills are always due the end of the month. So if they're billed December 31st, it's due January 31st.
So so I get my January bill. It has an amount that was from the previous quarter that was not billed. When do I have to pay the entire bill? Do I have to the end of the month, or do I have it spread out over 6 months?
And then what would stop you from just waiting?
Right,
6
to pay the
months
whole
everything?
thing. How are you going to know?
I was going to say,
I'm
What
not-
I-
I'm not
creating an
gonna be able to-
administrative
yeah.
nightmare.
Right.
No.
You are creating
administratively.
Yes.
pain in the-
Yes.
So I thought we were splitting so say it's $20, let's say I owe $20 more. So I would have $10 in the first bill, $10 in the second bill, but I have to pay them on time regardless. Is that complicated to do it that way? Is that,
I think we
I-
kind of said we wouldn't do that, just
I
send it out
think,
in one bill.
yeah, I think that it'll be more complicated to try to split it.
So then we're not giving them 2 quarters. We're giving them to the end of January.
Well, that's what we have to decide. Do we want to give them till the end of January to pay?
How
Getting
would
very
you,
complicated.
how would you
It's
do it
getting
any
too
other way
complicated.
and not make it complicated?
Well, it would have to be, the easiest way would be the whole bill. So if we're giving them extended time, it would probably have to be on the whole bill, not just the piece.
Right.
Yes.
I say
So
go the
that's a-
simplest way possible, and that's just bill them what we missed, and then
And
you guys
Handle
have to
it-
take the cost.
Handle it case by case.
Right.
Handle it case by case, and if someone has a hardship, then they,
my
Talk to
guess
us.
is
Speak
we're going
their
to hear
plea.
hardships
Talk
over
to us,
the
not
next
us,
few
to
months, right?
send it.
right.
Do we have auto pay?
We do have auto pay.
I get you, the great majority of people in the borough aren't even gonna.
Notice.
realize
They're
it.
not even going to notice.
Anyone say that?
I will notice.
That's how we got her on our board.
We're not the great majority.
I am not the majority, apparently I am not the majority. It's good to have someone in the minority represented.
Yeah,
So
I
one
don't,
bill.
I don't want to make it too
Yeah.
difficult. Let's do maybe a case by case.
Do
and then-
case by case?
Because I think
Okay.
we're going to hear some
Just bill it.
challenges anyway.
All right, we're just going to bill them. I'm just going to add it, and we're going to
You're
do
gonna
it
hear
case
from
by
old
case.
people
If
like me.
somebody-
So will there
Or,
be,
oh,
You're gonna send a
yes.
letter out? It's on the website.
It'll be on the website, and I think we'll put.
I was going to say, can we put something
On
in
the
the bill?
newsletter. And I'm going to put a note on the bill that there's an extra,
in an explanation? in the
Yes.
newsletter?
And you've gotten a break because
Yeah, it's the
You
same,
didn't-
it's the same amount of
it's
money.
the same amount.
You're actually getting more time to pay it.
Right.
right.
It's just uncomfortable that it's,
When it's hitting.
And I did truly think that I reduced my water bill.
Yeah, it's a
Because
small
you,
amount.
Then I saw
because
the
you had a
email
change
and
in
I'm
the number
like,
of people living in your home.
right, I'm thinking it was legit that mine was lower.
10% is small enough. We could think.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right,
Expecting a $2.
in the bill with the notice, we'll handle it case by case if anyone has struggles.
Okay.
And on the website, we've got LIHEAP and all that information for assistance as we move forward with
Yeah.
what's going on. Okay,
Yes.
all right, with the winter. Any other discussions? Okay. We beat that one up.
Now,
Made it
the I-
difficult and brought it back to simple. And then we saw there was an IBX rebate on the medical loss ratio.
Yes.
Yes.
So we got another, obviously, refund. Typically, every year we do this, and we give the money back to the employees in their paycheck. This time, it would be $20.43 to each employee.
They can use it to pay their water bill if they
They
live
can
in
use it to
Conshohocken.
pay if they live in Conshohocken.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So I just need a motion or approval to have it in their paychecks.
I'll make
If-
that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Also, before we finish with the financial report, I did get the RFPs for auditor. And I just did phone interviews this week for them, just to see where they were at. I did get them to come down a little bit in cost, so I'm just waiting for the couple proposals to come back, and then we'll decide, and then we can decide we want to do it based on cost or how we want to go about the auditor.
Okay.
So we'll make that decision in November. And then that's all I have.
Excellent. So, any other questions related to the financials this evening?
So we have to make a motion to accept the financial report?
Please do.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the financials into record. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty. Next up on the agenda is a robust solicitor's report this evening.
It certainly is, and it actually even has an addition from something we got late in this evening, although it's not anything that requires a vote. The first thing for your consideration this evening is the approval of a contract for professional services for the property located at 127 East Elm Street in Conshohocken. The developer is Cooper Winery. Everything appears to be in order, and if there are any questions about what the actual project is, they'd probably be best directed to Brent and/or Fred.
I'd be curious, just what are, I don't necessarily care.
It's a wine garden. They're gonna put up there.
So they just have to pay us 10,000, they have to put
Oh,
$10,000 in to secure their EDUs or whatever, is that?
To pay the profession, to pay the solicitor and the engineer to review the plans and do that. They've gone with a higher amount, so we don't have to chase people down. We can either give them a refund, then do $2,500, and then we have to stop work because it goes over. It gives them an incentive to give us better quality plans, all the information the first time, because then the clock stops running.
Yes, Fred's inspection.
Right, and this is only for the reimbursement of administrative fees. This is not for the payment of EDUs or for anything else. This is just a payment of professional fees.
And is there, when do they tell us like how many EDUs they're?
Yeah, they give us water records of similar facilities. They say if they're going to connect, they give documentation of the historical capacity that's allocated to there. If they're making plumbing changes and are going to, convert 3 units to 2 units, how they getting rid of that additional lateral. It's all of that stuff, just to make sure that, A, we're charging them the appropriate amount, they're purchasing and then we're crediting them for the appropriate amount that they have, so they're only buying what they need, but that they're also not going to allow the potential for future inflow and infiltration into our system.
So, just so you all know, this is an empty lot that's on Elm Street, right beyond the Sora building. And it's going to be pickleball courts and a space for beer and wine.
Great.
Okay.
We just needed a motion to approve the contract for professional services.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Do we care or know if they're doing industrial strength discharge, or do we even, you know what I mean, does that comes out in what they send you, they'll put it?
Yes, that comes out of what they send us, but, I mean, we don't consider washing of alcohol glasses as an industrial
It's not
district.
doing any wine production there?
No,
Okay.
it's just a sampling, but
Yeah.
I
so it's
mean,
fine.
have you seen Fayette Street?
Now, if it morphs into something different, do they have to come back to us about that, or we keep an eye out?
We keep an eye for that, and we work pretty closely with the borough and changes in uses and things like that. But honestly, it's local knowledge. It's Ed, Brent, Shannon driving by and seeing it and say, hey, this started out as a little tasting room. It's now a 30-seat,
Bar, restaurant, yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
The second item is also a contract for professional services, and this is for, for a property located at 201 West 7th Street. The developer is RG Restaurant Group LLC. And as I mentioned, any specific questions about the project should be directed to Brent or to Fred.
Any questions for this project?
I'll make the motion to approve the contract.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
This is the old pizza time, right?
Yes.
The final contract for professional services we have this evening is for a property located at 541 East Hector Street. The developer is Carriages of Conshohocken LLC, and I'm sure Fred and/or Brent could answer any questions regarding this project.
Is this the new apartments or houses that are going in between, right past the TK Club?
That's the area that it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And obviously, until they get the professional services, they can't submit plans, so most of them I've talked to the developer on. I don't think I've talked to this person yet.
Yeah, I mean, does it, we've accepted that you're going to review this stuff. Does it also mean we've accepted?
No. This
still
just
have-
means that before I open up their plans,
Yeah.
they put up money, because I'm gonna bill you,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. So this is the first step before they can even submit anything.
And in fact, Jack, in a lot of ways, the purpose of doing this is for all of those projects that don't get approved, and you don't really want the other ratepayers holding the bag for $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 worth of legal and engineering review for a project that never goes forward. So that's why you have them sign everything at the beginning.
Then I'm a little confused with the last one because there's already walls to the new restaurant.
Well, they can proceed through, the borough approval process is totally different than ours. They can proceed at their own risk. And what's the risk here? You're gonna get public sewer.
Right.
So they want to make sure, usually developers will make sure they get so far through the borough process, and even construction, and then they'll come to us, because ultimately we lead to developers agreement, payment of tapping fees, if there's additional, so they'll cash flow it.
Okay.
And
We're
that's-
kind of the last stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did I get a motion and a second?
Make a
for
motion to
541?
accept.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries for 541 East Hector.
This next one is something a little unique that I don't recall having done here before. This is the consideration of a request to vacate a sanitary sewer easement on a property located at 1300 Fayette Street in Plymouth Township, known as Plymouth Gardens, and authorization for the solicitor and executive director to prepare and execute all necessary paperwork with the request. We were contacted by a title company about an old sanitary sewer easement on the property that referenced effluent meters. The property is located in Plymouth. Fred and Lauren discussed it, and they couldn't figure out why we had this easement. There was language in the easement that said it automatically expired if our facilities were no longer in place. Fred went out to the site. We have no facilities on site. Shannon confirmed that all the billing was done through the aqua meters, and it looks like it's part of the bulk billing that goes to Plymouth, that we're not billing anyone directly. In any event, we have no facilities there. We have no need for this easement. The title company is asking us to remove it, so we just need to file the paperwork to vacate this easement.
So all these years, we've been getting easements that we didn't have in place.
This was a unique circumstance where they weren't sure if it was going to be privately owned. I used to represent Plymouth, so I have a little bit of history on here. And we were concerned that, well, what happens if Aqua doesn't give us water meter records, or if these guys have a lot of I&I, that it goes down through there. Plymouth decided, listen, we don't want that easement. But Conshohocken said, well, we'll take it just in case. And never was required. And no meters were ever installed, because Aqua gives us the water records all the time. I say Aqua, I'm not sure it's Aqua, but it's American, but Aqua.
So this is just the opposite of what we've been doing, like with the
Yeah.
Avenue.
Exactly. It was a
We've been
contingency
getting
plan on a new
easements
thing, yes.
that we didn't have in place, and this is letting go of an easement, having it removed from the drawing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because we don't need it.
Right.
So why encumber their property or something we don't need?
Right.
If they build something that we don't like there later, is that going to hurt us in some
It
way?
doesn't matter, because they are a Plymouth customer, and all their flow, we don't meter their flows, it ultimately comes down here, so.
So it'd be, okay. So Plymouth, if they started bringing something in there, Plymouth would be responsible, we would see it through.
Yes, it all goes through Plymouth, they have to, yes.
Okay, cool.
They're a Plymouth
Where
customer.
is it? Back by the old paper road, the 14th Avenue? They never came
By the
through on?
apartments, right?
Because of Cardinal View
Yeah.
access
Yeah,
now?
It's probably back
I
in
know where
there.
it is, I don't know the name
Yeah,
of
it's
the
probably
roads.
back in there.
Yeah.
All right.
And you're right, Jack, they may be trying to make some modifications on the property, and suddenly they found out that we have an easement, and they can't build over our easement, so they needed to
It
get
may
it.
just be a refinancing,
Yep.
and they just want to clean it up rather than carry it forward.
Yeah, essentially, it sounds like no risk for us anyway, so.
No,
So I'll make a motion to approve this
We'll read it out.
vacation.
To allow the lawyers to move forward.
That's right.
To approve the vacation of sanitary sewer easements.
I have a motion and a second to vacate the sewer easement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item this evening is, we were informed at around 3:30 this afternoon that the Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas upheld the findings of the zoning hearing board regarding the 5 Coel Lane property. If you recall, this was an action that was brought in front of the Conshohocken Zoning Hearing Board regarding our access to the sewer line on the property. The zoning hearing board made 3 conditions. One, that we would have reasonable access to the sewer line, that they had to mark off paving areas in an organized manner in straight lines, that there could be no outside storage or no asphalt within 10 feet of our sewer line, and that there would be only a reasonable number of cars parked on the property. The Court of Common Pleas upheld the first 2, which are the 2 important ones, and then they overturned the one about the reasonable numbers of vehicles, saying reasonable is too vague of a term, and so they didn't uphold that. We'll wait to see what the property owner does, whether or not they appeal it to the Commonwealth Court. I don't think this makes any sense for us to appeal over the one condition that was not upheld, but we'll see what the property owner does, and we'll update you. They'll have I don't know if the judge issued an opinion today, but if the judge didn't issue an opinion, then they'll have 30 days after the opinion is issued to file their appeal. So we'll keep an eye on that for you.
It's an automotive repair place, isn't it?
I believe that's,
oh, today, yes.
Yeah.
What they were looking about is what they wanted to do. They were trying to increase the value. What our concern was, what they're allowed to do is basically store construction materials, construction, yard. Well, we don't want them piling steel girders straight up there, or piling a asphalt, a stockpile of material on top of it, at least on our easement. We also didn't want a ton of vehicles there, but a lot of our vehicles go through, every apartment complex, it goes through there. We just didn't want them, to have a ton of, track hose parked on top of it. But you can't identify track hose, you use the term vehicle. So, yeah, but we just want to make sure that it would be no more encumbered than a typical apartment complex parking lot or shopping center parking lot. That's really, we wanted to be apples to apples.
and Fred's right, if there's an emergency and we need to access our sewer line, we can't be having to move a whole lot of equipment or a whole lot of materials that are stored there. We have to have the ability to get in and just get to our line.
Yep. The standard I use, if I can move it with a tow truck, it's fine. If I can't move it with a tow truck, it's not fine.
So what do we do?
Well, that's why we appealed, that's why we got the decision that they can't do it.
That's why we went to the zoning hearing board, and then the zoning hearing board ruled in our favor.
Yep.
For the first 2?
For the first 2. The third one is I
nothing.
don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay.
It's not.
A reasonable number of vehicles, I don't think it's that big of a deal, so.
Okay.
But My guess, well, maybe I shouldn't make a guess. There's a possibility they appeal, but I don't know. Maybe they'll cut their losses now, so.
Well, we gave him a check, right?
I don't think, were they paid for this easement? Yeah.
And they cashed it.
Yeah.
Of
course they
How
did.
much?
26,000, I think?
Yeah, it was up, I forget
course they
exactly the
did.
number. I want to say it was 29,000.
29?
but-
Yeah.
And now they're spending it in court.
Yeah, right.
Hiring lawyers.
That's right. That's who makes the money.
And thank God for that.
No action on that, That's just FYI, right?
What was
You don't
that?
need
No
an
action
action.
necessary on that, that's just information?
Yep, no action. And that concludes our report.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for the solicitor's reports this evening outside of what we discussed? If not, looking for a motion to accept it into record.
I'll make the motion to accept it
I'll
record.
second.
I'll second it.
I have a motion, a second, and a third. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up is our engineer's report.
Yep, absolutely. First thing, and the most important, is consideration to award contract 25-1 to HB Frazier. So we went over the bids last month, and they came in, right underneath of our engineer's estimate, basically fully utilizes the grant. So they had to go through a 30-day responsible contractor notification. So they've complied with all the requirements. We've properly advertised it. The 30 days has expired. So now it is ripe for you to execute the contract. The contractor has executed the contract, their portion of it. They provided us with all the original bonds, requirements, certificates of insurance. So I would ask that the board authorize that the contract be signed and witnessed, and then Shannon apply the authority seal to it so I can issue, so I'll stop there. So we have a contract.
Any questions related on what we need to do to get this approved and executed? Okay, hearing no questions, do I have a motion to award contract 25-1 to HB Frazier and then to sign and execute these agreements?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
While the next two are normal, the next two items are normally administrative items, given the amount of this contract, I would just like to go on the record with that and receive authorization to issue the notice of award to HB Frazier, transmitting the executed contract.
Anyone have a problem with that? Okay, move forward.
The next item is authorization to issue the notice to proceed. I would like to issue that dated today with the board's approval. That officially starts their clock on the work.
So you want authorization to use the date of 10/28/2025 to start the clock?
Yes, to issue the notice to proceed.
Okay, anyone opposed? Go right ahead.
Okay. The contractor has already given us a construction schedule. And they have substantial completion as August 2nd. Our grant has to be done by by September 30th. But they will be substantially complete by August 2nd, with the testing, punch list, and closeout completely done on September 13th. Technically, by the contract, they actually have until September 13th to be substantially complete. We have worked with this contractor, and knock on wood, so far, they have been awesome. So they have actually already prepared and submitted the majority of the shop drawings. And if you look at their construction schedule, we actually had until until November 16th to have all the returned shop drawings to them. That will allow them to order all the equipment on November 16th, which means that, and because they did an expedited delivery, instead of being 105 days, it's being delivered in 10 weeks, which means I'll have all my equipment, if we keep this schedule, by January 25th. And then they're going to systematically, basically every month, they're going to replace one MCC section all the way down through. So he actually hopes that he can expedite this and be done by July, and early July, because he makes his money by turning it around. We do have a full month in there for actually a month and a half for startup and testing. You just never know. If one little sensor goes bad, you got to go back to the factory, you got to get it. And unfortunately, we have the Labor Day weekend during that time. So I asked him for a very realistic, schedule, but so far he has been, and he's doing this all at his sole risk, obviously. So, but he's gotten that. We've gone back to Keystone, had them also review the shop drawings. We have a online portal that we set up, so there's no question on the shop drawings. They submit it, it goes in, I get a notification. I pull it out, I do my initial review. If I feel it's complete, I submit it to Keystone, it goes from there to Keystone. Then it comes back either, approved as noted, or rejected. We have had a couple that we've had to reject already. So that way, it's, I know, I check it every morning, I see how many are in there. I go to my staff and say, who's on it? Once it goes to Keystone, I go, Kirsten, who's doing it? So we can track it. So a shop drawing can only be in a folder, in only one of all those folders. So we track them, then we have a log that basically logs when it comes in, what's outstanding, which ones haven't been submitted yet, so we know, coming in. So far, it's been great communication with these guys. They were willing to do this all at their sole risk, go through. I have stressed, beyond stress, the importance of this grant and being done by September 30th. I'll feel a lot better on September, 1st when it's all done. But so far, we're all there. Like I said, right now, everything's on there. But the delivery date, nothing is guaranteed until you place that order. So until they release it for fabrication, these are what the factory is estimating today. And obviously, we're trying to get it in by November 16th, so we're in before the holidays. So that we're in production, we're in their schedule before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, New Year's, and all that, so we get them through. So that's why it's very time sensitive. So any questions at all on where we're at on this contract?
Any questions? No?
Just besides the normal development, one of the influent pump station is on. I've kind of put that on hold because I got to get these guys in this grant money through, and I can't have two contractors out there bumping heads, and I needed to see really where they're going to be because they would interrupt that, and then it would impact the warranty. So I'm kind of pulling a pregnant pause on that. Let me concentrate fully, get this one all the way across the finish line. This is the grant funding. This is the important. The others, it's important, but it's less. That's we're replacing something proactively. This is grant and time sensitive, so I don't want, any excuse for this not to get across the finish line.
Is that something we have to take into consideration when we start looking at budget for next year? To push
It would
that
slide
in?
it should be in the
We have to
budget
push it
that's
into the
given to,
following.
yes.
Okay,
Yep, that's given to Plymouth because they do pay a share of it.
okay.
So, and that's been in there and been held on there.
Brent, anything worry you about the schedule and pulling this stuff down? Everything seems pretty, you'll be able to handle fine, yeah, okay.
The beauty of it, and they actually were a little more aggressive than I thought they were going to be. So when we did everything, we knew that there was no freezing, so we had to go back and talk them through because we don't have, when we go to temporary power, we thought, well, it was like 20 weeks to get these MCCs. They're not getting anything to March. I don't need emergency heat. They're actually now kind of starting in January. So we made sure that they are only working on items that don't require emergency heat. So we don't have to include that in our backup emergency generator. So we're basically taking one MCC section down. Now, one MCC is like 20% of your plant, 20% of your plant, 20% of your plant. So it's not just like one little piece of equipment. It's a large there, so.
So you don't need as big of a power source?
Yes, because I don't have, a majority of my emergency power source was heat. And because we're only down for like, literally an hour, or actually out, I don't need to have, if I have two pumps, I don't need to run both of them. I just need to have one, because we're down for an hour. So we went over with operations staff very closely this sequence of construction. and what could be down, what didn't have to be down. I mean, we probably spent 3 meetings in a month going over that.
Right?
That,
Exciting. Spending the money.
getting it done, taking advantage of our grants. That completes my report unless the board has any questions.
Any additional questions from the board? Hearing no additional questions, do I have a motion to accept the engineer's report into record?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item is our operation manager's report. I don't know if he left anything for you guys.
Can we just merge them in the D and E? Just move it.
Certainly can. So what we will do is take an operations manager report and an executive director's report, and we're going to merge them together. And Brent, you're on.
Okay. Quite a few items to discuss. Complaint was in compliance, which is good news. This morning, and this is not on the report, but this morning I received a phone call that our polymer system on the press failed. We're able to operate the unit in hand mode at this point in time. Within 3 hours, we're not going to spend $30,000 to repair the whole unit. We're going to make our own. I designed a whole new polymer system up in our own way and probably save us $25 grand. So I have parts on getting a quote from our vendor, US Blue Book, to give us all the items, and we'll make our own. So it's been something we've been pushing for the last couple of years. It's just, I mean, Fred, you probably see it. It's worn out.
Yeah.
And it failed this morning. We can run in hand. My goal is hopefully in 2 weeks to have a whole new unit on, and our staff will build it.
What is running by hand, like how much time?
So the timer system went down, the pumps went down, so the operator of the press will have to add the coagulant, the polymer, and make the batches himself to inject into the sludge, which basically I know
So
I
he's
gave it to-
cooking, like he's stirring
Not
and
cooking, you're coagulating the sludge together to remove the water.
I guess how much how much man time
It's not,
extra?
it's,
not much.
the operator has to be at the press anyway,
Okay.
so you'll be making a batch every 2 hours.
But someone was there anyway, it's not extra.
But it's something I put on the back burner, we weren't gonna do it, Marty, who's our operator, we have a lot of issues with it, and it failed. Now we're gonna move and just make our own.
So it's not something you do overnight or on the weekend, it's like, it's only when someone is there.
It's only when you're running the unit, and we don't run it, if you know our sludge production's down, we only run it a couple days a week. So it's not that, it will not cause much issue to our staff.
I guess the other thing of automation, though, I guess is what it doesn't allow for as much user error, I guess, do you think, if you have it, once you have it back up and running, but
Well, I'll have it up running in 2 to 3 weeks. I mean,
it's great. It's great you have the capabilities to do that.
I'm copying from another facility, so.
Great.
steal shamelessly.
Right, job's done.
The next item deals with, as you recall, we went out for requests for proposals. As Shannon mentioned, we had 4 for auditor, which I think that's the priority at this point, to get that situated for our 2025 audit. Engineers, we received 8 for sewer, 4 for stormwater, and 2 for solicitor. And we'll make a recommendation on how we're going to proceed. A quick note of the solicitor, the price with the current, just a quick note, we have 2 items for the solicitor, and the one was out, I'll be honest, was almost $450 an hour. So again, we put it out in the street, we extended a little bit under, our Pennsylvania Municipal Authority Association. If someone wants our business, they're going to go to that website because we're an authority, and they're going to seek us out. And again, we have 8 engineers. I'll make a recommendation, we're going to review them. Obviously, we have a lot of items, as you mentioned tonight. We have a grant on board with our engineer right now, which is the most important part as we proceed to make sure that we do not do anything wrong in this grant. There's a lot of dollars. So as our main thing is the audit at this point, and then we'll proceed with the others at this point. But I'll give you more information next month or over the next couple of months.
For renewal.
Will you reappoint them?
We'll reappoint for January.
It's January, it's an annual?
Most important part, as you mentioned last year, our goal was the auditor. We did go out for
Right.
the other ones, look at them at this point, we're preliminary, but the main focus is auditor, so we can get this situated that we run into December and January, we're ready to roll for it.
Fred and I and your other professionals serve at the pleasure of the board.
Right.
And we don't really have contracts you can replace us or at any time. The auditor is a little different because they have to get the audit done, so there is a time when you have to appoint them and so they can get the audit completed. So you wouldn't be appointing your auditor in July or August because the audit has to be done by
Like
September.
April, yeah, quarters or whatever.
So the next item, now go into the draft budgets. As you know, we talked in August, in September. It's open for discussion, but I'm not making a presentation like we did before. It's just as a line item. The target is obviously November. We'd be looking at, my opinion, it's going to be an extended meeting to discuss our budgets and potential rate increases moving forward for the future, for both stormwater and sewer. Which leads me into, I'll just do the December meeting. We don't have a date yet set. Part of our 26 budget is 12 meetings with the possibility of reducing down to 9 meetings, which would be 1 removing December and 2 over the summer as a budgetary item. And due to the fact that we don't have a December meeting yet, we can make a decision next month or whatever. If we make a budget, we get everything done, we just ratify the bills for December and January. So this is only a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to make a decision tonight, but we had discussed, you all made ways of, can we cut down our costs? And that's one of them.
How much is each meeting?
Each meeting, well, we have $500 for the
Video.
video service and obviously our professional services.
Can you just itemize the meeting? What a cost of a meeting is?
Yeah, we
and
could do that.
That way?
And we have that, I mean.
Yeah, it's just itemized, that's all.
So this comes down to the next 2 issues. We have 2 emergency issues. One's dealing with stormwater repair on Poplar Street at the SEPTA Railroad and the Schuylkill River Trail. About 2 weeks ago, I received a call from the borough, or Stephanie, saying there is a major issue. We evaluated it. We sought out numbers for contractors, come out. The engineer, and Michael, you can jump in at any time, the engineer HRG has declared an emergency due to the fact where it's located and the degradation of the stormwater line. The current cost is projected it's under the threshold of bidding. It's at $18,251. However, till we get done with all the professional services, due to the fact that we have to have SEPTA at the location during the whole time we're doing repair work where it's located, I do expect this price to exceed the bidding threshold. Again, it's an emergency. The engineer has to declare emergency because where it's located, right by the railroad. There's potential damage. So I'm not seeking, I don't know how you proceed, Mike. How do you want to?
So you're asking for an emergency spend?
Yeah, so,
Do we have reserves for this type of thing?
We have 90,000 in our stormwater at this point in time. So we have enough in our reserves to cover this as a capital repair.
We just may not be able to pay the borough.
Once we
Well-
were going to have to probably, like we did done in the past, it'd be probably like the second quarter of next year is when we start paying the borough again, because our reserves are low in stormwater.
Okay, so there is some contingency dollars in there that we were starting to build to be able to be self-sustaining. Based on this issue that we identified, we're going to have to pull from those, which then may put in jeopardy our commitment back to the borough, which would just delay.
Just like we did this
Payment.
year as well. We delayed
Correct,
it.
okay.
So can we would the borough give a grace period?
We work in conjunction with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
given that there's an emergency spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the spend threshold?
For bidding,
Yeah.
what is it,
It's in the high 19s now, or it
It's
might
like
have actually
23 it's
tripled.
23-ish.
The low 20s
I
in
think
the
it's
last
like
year or so.
23.
Yeah,
23,500.
Public bid.
yep.
And does it,
Something, and you have to go to get written quotes.
So we have to pay SEPTA to be there while you're
SEPTA is
working?
requiring us to be there. They're requiring that,
Them
their
to be
flaggers
there.
to be there.
And we have to pay for that?
Correct.
Got it.
I'm sorry to do this, Steve, but what's broken?
The pipe is totally degraded. About 60 feet of it that's totally degraded underneath, and it could cause a collapse with storm water just ripping right underneath it, and then cause, where it's located, the storm water is right before SEPTA, and if something was curved, we could dam up and go right over the SEPTA with rocks and everything else. It's not a good, it's really, it's a.
Is that where it normally floods? Like if there's a torrential downpour?
It seems like the lowest point, you know?
Well, I know like the Residence Inn, like they're always slammed.
They're at the bottom of the hill.
Yes.
are we supposed to
Yes.
be,
They
do we
bill at
miss
the bottom
something
of
in
the
the
hill.
preventative, like, are we supposed to, should we have known about this earlier, you think, or is
This
it?
is,
This is what we're gonna find
This is
throughout
what we're finding.
So,
Conshohocken.
so we didn't find, this is just out there and we don't have eyes on it yet, so we might just find
So
out.
what I understand on the borough side is this is the normal maintenance. They went down, they imaged the stormwater, they identified the degradation of the structure. Based on the permit that we have, we are required, once we identify it, then to fix it, because it's a violation of that permit, right? So you kind of self-monitor. We're not going to imply a fee to ourselves on that. We're going to put in an implementation plan to fix it. And they say within a period of time, a routine period of time. We don't have that defined. I would prefer not to put policy around a routine period of time, so that we give ourselves some wiggle room, but we're self-identifying, self-fixing. And it sounds like,
You're saying?
yeah, and it sounds like the borough and the sewer authority are working very well to get to where we need to do so that we don't have the violation from the DEP if.
and the authority, as you know, we take over for main capital improvements. So they're doing the cleaning, checking, and everything else. Once they determine a capital improvement, and we handle it from there. I received the call, and we moved, like I said, we're to the point where we moved on, and this is where we are right now.
We don't have to report to the DEP, just it needs to go on the MS4
Yes.
annual report. And I'm sure we're
Which
going
is
to find a
unfortunate.
lot of these as we go along.
Well, that's what I mean.
Terracotta.
This could have been like this for
Oh,
years.
got you.
But only because we just started looking at it, so we can expect more.
What was that,
likely.
what was that emergency thing? What does that mean?
We're declaring emergency due to the fact where it's, the HRG declared an emergency, where it's located for public safety. If something goes wrong, and now we know this is an issue, we got to repair it. I mean, if we have a washout and goes on the railroad, and that's why, I'll defer to Mike for further.
It allows you not to go through the normal bidding process.
Oh, okay, so
It
that-
allows you to.
So even if it's over the 23?
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to suspend all aspects of bidding. Like, it's still best practice to reach out to a couple of different companies to get quotes. You don't necessarily have to go with the lowest one because it is an emergency, but if somebody quotes you $25,000 and somebody quotes you $125,000, you better have a really strong reason why you went with the guy or the person who said 125. There are a whole bunch of different factors that you look at, like Brent says, if it's something that could lead to a sort of environmental spill, if especially with the sewage treatment plant, if we're going to start backing sewage up into the streets, or if we're going to have something that could undermine a railroad. So I always like to tell the story, like 10 years ago, the Norristown School District, which I represent, their main administrative building lost air conditioning during the summer, and I wouldn't declare it an emergency, so they didn't have air conditioning all summer, and everyone in the building hated me for months on end.
There you go, Mike.
rightfully so. But if it were during the winter, and there weren't
Heat, you wouldn't.
heat, you could have declared that an emergency because you wouldn't have been able to allow people to work without heat in the building, so. But everything that we've gotten from HRG, there's another issue with one of our cameras, everything that Lauren spoke to Fred about, it indicates that it's gonna qualify as an emergency. And then we usually put something together for the file, so if there's ever a part of the audit that says, you know, why did you do this without bidding, or if anyone ever questions it, the solicitor and the engineer declared it an emergency.
Okay, so you got, it's not on us to say it's an emergency or not, it's actually on you and the engineer.
No, you're taking your advice from your solicitor and your engineer and any of your other professionals. Yep.
I'm just
Taking
trying-
advice from the professionals.
The first
We pay.
protocol, the engineer who's has to be licensed is the one that can declare it.
Okay.
It's like, I want to talk about Will and Fred that we're going to talk in a moment. Fred has to declare it, then obviously the solicitor reviews it. But it has to come from a licensed engineer first to declare emergency.
Who, did you get who are you going with for the, are you getting a couple, do you think, or?
We reached out to numerous contractors, and our HRG reviewed our price for it, and they are actually, it is, come on. Let me pull it up. It's from Scavio and Sons. And it's $18,250 for a 60 feet long, 18-inch line where it's located, $300 a foot. I think it's a very reasonable price. HRG confirmed it's a reasonable.
Yeah, that sounds
It's
right.
below it, but I'm anticipating with all the other items that we're going to do with the location, especially if we get into any other hiccup,
Yeah.
hopefully find no more damage on there and we just replace it.
Did they say when they'll be able to do it, how soon, or?
As soon as I get you approval,
Okay.
tonight, I'm moving.
Okay, great.
So you need our approval to use your funds in that account for the emergency.
Yep.
Okay? Approved? Do I need a motion for approval?
Yeah, I think in this instance, it probably makes sense to do that.
Okay. Do I have a motion for approval pending Brent's evaluation with the engineer for the final cost?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
So the next one deals with an issue within our plant. We were doing some camera work with our little robotic camera in our system and in our main drain line that drains the plant, and our camera got stuck. Down 14 to 15 feet under the ground right by the administration building. It's stuck. And we tried numerous contractors to get it out. It is stuck. We can't get it. And what's unique about this, we need the drain system, and we've been fortunate enough to utilize it. We have not caused a clog, because that's obviously going to cause a main clog. Talking with Fred, after a review of it, it has declared emergency because we could overflow sewage, and we need this drain system now. So Zoom was the only, we reached out to numerous contractors, and Zoom is the one that projects the cost at $30,000. Like I said, it's 15 feet down. It's in amongst pipes, you name it. Like I said, 15 feet down. It's a deep hole. We asked the borough if they could help us out, and we asked them, and due to the fact of how deep it is, we do not feel comfortable doing it. So it's not like we didn't look at other options. So again, this is an emergency situation. And you asked, I know the one question, are we dealing with poplar we're moving? We're actually mobilized at this point to proceed tomorrow already because where it's located. So once I get a go-ahead, we're actually just moving tomorrow on this upon approval.
So think of a pipe and then a remote control car. That's really what it is.
Right.
And it's stuck in
It's
there.
stuck.
Right.
And that's my drain.
And this is on the plant, right? This is in the
Anything
plant.
without
Right, and
that.
this is like a
And so
drain
right
that
now,
goes from
what's
tanks.
going between the wheels?
Where does the drain go from? One pump?
So everything's gravity feed back down to our pump station, as Fred mentioned, so it's a drain line that goes to our pump station. But if we're draining a primary or ad billing, flushing a toilet, all goes to that line.
You know, DEP requires you to be operational all the time and to have redundance. Well, look, you don't have a redundant drain line.
No.
You know, there's very few things, and that's where you know, if we didn't and something were to happen, then we would be liable as to why didn't we declare that emergency? Why didn't you do everything in your power to have that plant fully operational at all times? So that's why, knowing that we had the board meeting, normally, if the board meeting would have been further out, I would have pulled the board and asked for, you know, that, being that we had the board meeting tonight and we could get somebody mobilized by tomorrow, we elected to wait for the public meeting.
So what are they gonna do? Does someone go down? or-
They're gonna
Dig it
have
up,
to dig it
dig it
up,
up and cut the
trench it
pipe,
down and go
pull it
all the way
out.
down and cut the pipe out and get the camera out. That's the only option we have at this point. We tried.
Tell everybody in Conshohocken, flush at 8:01.
Well, it doesn't affect it. It's only in the point.
Yeah.
That, all right. Yeah. So, and then one item I mentioned to Shannon, and we're gonna defer it, I'm gonna reach out to the insurance company as well to see if there's an insurance liability as well. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask our insurance.
You might get a new camera too.
I was going to say,
But
how
we're
much
gonna,
is
I'm sure the
the camera?
camera's been damaged for what we tried to.
I don't think the camera's the least of our concerns at this point.
Right,
No, but if you're
That's
gonna
a good
file,
point.
file for it all.
right.
How much would one of those cameras cost? I think it's a good question. Do you have any idea what that would cost to replace that thing?
The camera,
Yeah.
it's probably 30,000.
30 or 40 grand.
Yeah, I mean, but once they're stuck, I mean, you got a cable on both sides and,
This is gonna be a $130,000 job by the time we're done.
well, I mean, digging on our site is not, because you got to remember, you have to keep the treatment plant operational. We have a one-lane road that comes down, you know, and you're 15 feet deep, and you've got, you know, RBCs, you've got all your tanks. I mean, this is not an easy, I was not shocked at that price at all, because of the way it needs to be shored and where you're at. And we got big-time electric in there, too.
Yeah. Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, are we first-time customers with Zoom?
What's that?
Are we first-time customers with Zoom? They have
Now that we have not used
discounts.
them.
You have a coupon for first-time customers.
I was gonna say, isn't that the blue truck that runs around?
It is, I've had Zoom out.
We
because I had
contacted
my
all,
main Dream
we
block.
just could not get any other quotes.
It-
Everyone's just busy.
They were good.
Yeah, well,
I had
and no, this job is just too much risk.
Yeah.
It's just not,
It is a risk, and that's why,
It's a risk.
with conjunction with doing our own staff in the borough, we just felt it was necessary to hire. It's deep, it's a deep hole, 15 feet's deep.
Yeah.
And like I said, with all the stuff that we have, I mean, all the other utilities in here.
It's like taking New York City, you got, you know, all the layers going down.
Sure.
You know, they kind of build these treatment plants like lasagna. Just, you start at the bottom, build their way up.
Can we trust this contractor?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we even know what they're trying to avoid? Do we have?
Yeah, we'll have, yes, we'll have everything there. Yep.
We have the as-built drawings, but they gotta start digging. And they'll probably end up going down with a soft dig to figure out where they're going if they got track in
Sure, they'll probably break something on the way.
there.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta get to the bottom. You know, I can't say, oh, okay, we're just not gonna drain anything, you know, it overflows.
So how did the camera, is the camera always in there?
No, we were doing some work to check out the system. We were having some issues with it at the administration building. And I requested to go up to see what was going on, the reason why we're not getting proper drainage. As they're going up, they hit the lateral, and it got pinched in there, and we can't get it out of that lateral area.
Okay.
It's literally pinched.
So maybe when we replace the camera, get a smaller one.
'Cause we had, I mean, if you don't know this, but Eastern Environmental was in, which is a big player, and they won't even want to do it. They tried to help us get it out, and they didn't give us a quote, and they're a very big player in doing this type of work.
You can't get one of those things that you
Yeah,
pour things out.
The claws.
It's,
It's all good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have our approval to
I'd be anxious.
they do the,
fix the emergency backup.
Do we have to make a motion for that? Because it is money
Yeah, I think it's
spent?
appropriate under the circumstances, because it is going to be relatively expensive, and you're authorizing Brent to enter into a contractual relationship with this contractor.
All right, do I have a motion to authorize Brent to do his thing?
I'll make a
for our
motion.
I'll second.
Stuck
Do
machine.
your thing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
I guess just let us know how it goes.
Yeah,
If it's
we'll
gonna be
do.
more expensive, then, yeah, anyway, just let us know. Okay.
As you recall, a couple months ago, we had a failure of our system where we overflowed the digesters. So we installed all our wireless connections to ensure that we have a proper alarm system on that as we speak. So I don't know, it's been a while since we did, but we had to order all that, and again, we just received all that, and that's online. We're also repairing the roof on the ad building. The staff, we took it upon ourselves to do the work to repair our roof, and we'll get probably another 10 years of service out of our roof. So we started doing that about 2 months ago, and it was a month ago.
Yeah.
A month ago, we started doing that work.
Great.
So we're good with that. Other than that, that completes my report.
Any questions for the Executive Director / Operations report?
I guess just good job, I guess,
Yeah.
the stuff that you're doing on
Yeah.
on our own. That's nice to not have another 2 big bills sitting on our laps here too, so I appreciate it.
Make a motion to accept the operations manager / executive director's report.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty. I don't see any old business that we need to talk about today. How do you want to work the budget? Did you want to do a separate budget session, or do you just want us to look at it and give feedback to you guys?
I would anticipate we're going to have a long discussion, at least an hour or more next month in regards to both budgets. I don't know if you want to plan on 6:30 and just plan on being here for 2 hours, or you want to send my questions over and we can start analyzing what you want and just resolve our concerns.
How would you guys like to?
Or you want a special meeting, you tell me.
What's the date of the November meeting?
November 18th.
18th. I'm fine with the longer,
You're okay with the longer meeting?
rather than a separate meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
Did you send the budgets out yet?
We sent out, what we'll do is we'll do, there's a couple other things that we're working on behind the lines,
Right,
specifically stormwater.
right.
And well, it's both of them, stormwater and the sewer. So what we'll do is we'll probably, give us like a week and we'll give you all an update, and then if you have any questions, just reach out to us.
Put them together and
Yeah.
go over to the meeting. Have answers for them in advance. 6:30 for 2 hours on the 18th. Got it.
Okay. Got a plan. Anything else? Going once? Going twice? Hearing nothing else, I will say meeting adjourned. Nice job, everyone.